76ers in game 2. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, to touch on this series with the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers, a couple things I noticed from game 1 that need to change in game 2. Obviously, we've seen that miraculous performance from James Harden in game 1. Had 45 points, led his team to a victory over the Boston Celtics in game 1. They stole game 1 in Boston, which was amazing. But here's some things Boston needs to change if they want this game to be just as competitive or if they want to actually win this game. First things first, I need Jaylen Brown to be much more aggressive. Much more aggressive. Jaylen Brown took only 3 shots in the second half. How the hell can you expect to win a game when you take 3 shots in the second half and you're a pivotal key player on a team that's going against top tier talent in the playoffs? This is the playoffs. I always give Jaylen Brown so much credit for being a dog on the court between him and Jason Tatum. I always give that dog emphasis to Jaylen Brown of being the one who's the go-getter, the one who's always more aggressive. But damn it, that was not what I seen in game 1. That has to change in game 2, or the Philadelphia 76ers are going to whack the Boston Celtics in game 2. That has to change. Tatum had a solid game. He did his thing. He shot pretty bad too at some points, especially in that second half. A lot of the Celtics did, truthfully, and that's what I think was really the turning moment and why they didn't win that game, on top of Jaylen Brown not being as aggressive, is that they didn't shoot as good. But also too, how can you expect to get in a rhythm if you only shoot 3 shots throughout the second half? What type of shit is that? like seriously, bro. The system runs through you. Between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the system runs through those two in terms of why the Boston Celtics are such a great team. It's because of that dynamic duo. And if one of those guys are sitting in the corner watching Jason Tatum do his thing, watching Al Horford in a post, watching Marcus Smart jack up shots, watching everybody else on the floor instead of acting and doing his thing, or at least taking shots, it's hard for them to both get going. And we know when Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both get going, things get nasty. We know that. So it's going to get even more nasty come game 2, not on the Boston Celtics side, but on the Philadelphia 76ers side. Because yes, James Harden's coming off a big night with 45. Then you got the MVP Joel Embiid coming back in game 2. Yes, he recently announced that he's coming back and playing in game 2. So it's going to be crucial because he's going to get his 28, 29, 30 points. James Harden is still going to be somewhat aggressive because he's coming off a big night after 45 points. Maxey had a pretty solid night. Tobias Harris had a pretty solid night. So it's a lot of momentum siding with the Philadelphia 76ers here. And for the Boston Celtics to ruin that momentum, cut that momentum short, they're going to have to make shots. They're going to have to shoot a lot better than what they did in game 1. And Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown are both going to be aggressive. They have to be aggressive if they want to win this ball game in game 2. All right, man. So as far as the prediction in this series here, I'm hoping for a great series. I would not be mad if Philly went to the finals or the conference finals, I should say, because it's only second round. I would not be mad. I would actually be kind of happy because Joel Embiid has been balling for a minute now. Harden has been balling for a decade now, actually. So I would love to see the Philadelphia 76ers go there. But the Boston Celtics, they play good sometimes. Sometimes they play bad. And I'll notice a lot of times the consistency is not there that I've witnessed in the past few years. And that hunger that I've witnessed from them the past few years, to me, it seems like they kind of have a confidence that's telling them, oh, we'll be great. We got another game. And maybe it's the experience. Maybe it's the experience of going all the way to the finals where they know, well, we just got to correct our mistakes. Maybe that's the case of why they don't look as hungry in this season or this postseason versus last year. But ultimately, I'm going to go with Philly. I hope Philly wins. This is a shocker for me because I like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, that duo, but I hope Philly wins this series. And I think it's going to at least go to 6 games for sure. 100% going to 6 games. But anyway, look, man, I appreciate you for hanging with me. If you heard something you did not like or that you did like, give us a call, 219-413-9405. We will air your take and I will respond. So even if you want to outsmart me, go ahead, shoot us a call and leave your quick take, share your thoughts on that. But I appreciate you, whether you're listening to me on Spotify, iPodcast, iHeartRadio, therunusa.com, YouTube. Either way, share this with a neighbor, a cousin, a brother, an aunt, an uncle, a coworker, someone who is nearby you. I promise you they will not mind, especially if I talked about their team. All right, so until then, though, I appreciate you hanging with me, and we will be back later on next week, and so on, and so on, and so on.